Good morning, and thanks for attending our Capital Market Day that today we are hosting here nearby Berlin in our new plant at Grossbeeren. I hope that you have enjoyed and you have learned a lot in the visit to this plant, which is still starting, and our older plant in Ludwigsfelde. Last year, Gestamp celebrated our 25th anniversary. 25 years of hard work, some success that had led us to become the partner supplier. Today, we are bringing you here not just to understand what we have done, but basically to focus in what Gestamp is going to do moving forward in the future. From our last Capital Market Day we held 2 years ago, I think we have changed many things. This Capital Market Day 2 years ago, we held it under many uncertainties and also in a kind of digital format. But since then, I think in Gestamp we have been able to prove that we are very good in execution in 21 and 22. And also, and even if today still the level of uncertainty is quite high, we are facing a kind of weaker economic scenario. Today, we will be presenting a set of ambitious targets and commitments for the future, which I think is a clear expression of how positive we feel about the future of our company moving forward. Today, in 2023, Gestamp is the leader Tier 1 auto supplier for metal components related to body-in-white, chassis, and mechanisms. We are running 115 plants. Some of them are still under construction. We are also doing that in 24 countries. We are running 13 research and development centers, and we have 42,000 people that are working day by day to support our customers' needs. And even if we have already more than 25 years, Gestamp is still a young company in the financial markets, as we went listed only 6 years ago. And how we have been able to become leader? So basically, because we had a clear and a defined strategy since the beginning that we had been fulfilling. It's a strategy which means that we are always very close to our big customers, trying to identify their needs and trying to find solutions for these needs. That in the case of our range of products are more related to find the right products, the right technologies in order to help our customers to design and to produce lighter and safer cars, and also to build our plants close to where they are going to be assembling their vehicles. Of course, we are doing that, but delivering to all our commitments with operational excellence. That means every day, best quality, best cost, and good delivery rate. And thanks always to a very good team of skilled and motivated people. So we have done that, and we have been able to build a very solid status of partnership with our customers in the long run. But since listed back in 2017, we have not been able to show to you the best of our company. And even if we should not have excuses, what is true is that since 2017, the environment that we have faced has not been easy at all. We have severe declines of manufacturing volumes, and still in 2022, volume is still below 13% from the volumes of 2017. And since 2020, high inflation with impacting the prices of the steel, moving these prices through the roof, energy, and other materials. And all of this on top of the COVID, on top of the crisis of semiconductors, and also with the war in Ukraine. So I think it's been difficult, but I think we have been able to work hard, not just to survive, but to become stronger and reinforce our strategic positioning. And in fact, in 2022, we have obtained record results. Revenues, for the first time, more than 10 billion euros, exactly 10.7 billion, with less manufacturing vehicles than in 2017. And in terms of profitability, with an EBITDA margin of 12.7%, and at all times high net profit. So very solid set of results, a strong financial position at the end of 2022. And how we have made it during last years, clearly with our continuous push for growth, supported, like always, with our good diversification in terms of customers and geographies, with a strong product mix and industrial capabilities, and also with technologies and innovations which were clearly different from most of our competitors, and especially focused in the development of electrical vehicles. As a result, since 2017, we have always outperformed the growth of the market by close to 10 percentage points, and so we have increased our revenues per manufactured vehicle in the world by 36% compared with 2017. But, of course, of growth, but also we have been able to generate these results thanks to our financial discipline in a very complex scenario. Since COVID, we have been able to increase our profitability by reducing significantly our fixed structure cost and reducing our break-even point. But also we have been able to reinforce our balance sheet using our generation of free cash flow, close to 800 million euros between 20 and 22, to reduce the leverage from 2.5 times in 2019 to 1.8 times at the end of 2022. So Gestamp is now stronger and ready for the new phase of development. And what is next now? I think what is next is that we are heading to a world where individual mobility will remain being a basic need and an ambition for many people, but that mobility is going to be completely different to the one we have had in the past. Mobility has been and will be essential for all of us. Today, there are around 1,500 million vehicles in the world, and this figure probably is going to be growing in the next years to come because the world population keeps growing, and in the developing countries, clearly all of them, they are looking for increase their economic status, and in many cases, what they are looking is to have an access to mobility. But even if mobility is a basic need for all of us, we now know that current mobility model has a negative impact to the sustainability of our planet, as cars and vans are today responsible of 8% of total CO2 emissions. So now the most relevant challenge of the auto industry is to make mobility sustainable, not just for today, but also for our future generations. So now we are living a kind of auto industry revolution. Everybody now is working hard to tackle the sustainability challenge. First, looking for zero emissions in the mobility, basically focus around the development of the electrical vehicles, but in a longer term, with target of going to the net zero car, including CO2 emissions also in the manufacturing, in the materials, and also in the end of life. Starting with the short term, clearly we are moving into electric. Most government has right now regulation which is very, very strict, Europe, but also US and China, and they are forcing to move very, very aggressively from internal combustion engine to electrical vehicles. For instance, in Europe, just due to the approval of the Fit for 55 regulation, all cars and vans registered after 2035 needs to be zero emissions. And most of the customers, most of the OEMs are already setting aggressive targets aligned with this regulation, and even in some cases, going further than the regulation. So now, as a result of this effort, already electrical vehicle is a reality. That was not the case 3, 4, 5 years ago. In 2022, already 11.5 million electrical vehicles were manufactured, and by 2027, this amount is expected to grow up to 38 million, which means around 40% of the total manufacturing of vehicles by that time. So figures that probably could grow even faster, because in the last years, all the forecasts that we have done have been always rather conservative. But in the long run, the mobility revolution will go one step beyond, to the net zero car. The net zero means that we need to reduce and to eliminate all emissions linked to the full life cycle of the vehicles, including materials, manufacturing, transporting, end of life. And this ambitious target, which is also common to other kinds of industries, should only be a reality if we are able to have a good cooperation between all the participants in the supply chain. And of course, circular economy is key to achieve the net zero challenge. Circular economy, based on principles of reusing and recycling, is moving away from the traditional linear economy, and of course is going to have a very important growth in the next years to come. Ernesto will comment on this later, but for us, for Gestamp, still is key to our circularity strategy, as far as we are using a lot of steel in the manufacturing of our components, but steel also is 100% recyclable, and we have an opportunity there. So how Gestamp is going to face the next 5 years until 2017, I think we have a clear statement. And the statement is that basically, as the world dives into a new mobility revolution, Gestamp will continue to be the partner supplier of our customers, preserving our long-standing strategy and working along with the society towards a more sustainable mobility. And our value proposition, in order to work in the next 5 years, is basically, as mentioned, to preserve the strategy that we have been always following, but reinforcing our partner supplier, adapting this strategy to the new sustainability challenges. Specifically, improving our strategic positioning, offering best innovations for electrical vehicles, use operational excellence in order to make our plants more efficient, but also more resilient, and preserving always our financial strength and also the trust of our customers. So the strategy that we are going to follow in the next 5 years has some basic 7 pillars. These pillars are, of course, the growth ambition that we always had, to remain being a trusted partner supplier, keep on moving in the area of offering the market more technology and more innovation, moving ahead in operational excellence, to remain being profitable and to be also disciplined regarding our balance sheet, and last but not least, pioneering the circular economy through the acquisition of Gescrap. And if we start with ambition in terms of growth, I think growth has been always part of the DNA of Gestamp. In the next years, we are also going to be growing, and we believe that we can take a very good advantage out of the recovery of market volumes in different geographies. Also, we can take advantage of an increasing outsourcing level from our customers, and also the increasing penetration of electrical vehicles is something that is supporting Gestamp's story. In terms of volumes, I would say that auto manufacturing is one of the few industries in the world that has not recovered pre-pandemic levels. From now to 2027, we are forecasting a solid growth, around 2.7 CAGR growth, but still the volumes that we are expecting for 2027 are going to be below the ones we had in 2017. Growth, because it's going to have more impact, more support for the growth of the population, especially in developing countries. Growth also related to the speed of change of how we are going to move our park of vehicles from internal combustion engine to electrical vehicle, and also an increasingly aging park fleet, especially in areas like in US, in Europe, because in the last 5 years, it's been a very important aging of all the park fleet. So there is a lot of possibilities to replace, and all of that should support an increase of the volumes in the market. In the case of Gestamp, I think we have a very good position to take advantage of this recovery in the market in each of the single markets. If we focus in the mature market, such as in Europe and North America, we have an opportunity to grow. In the case of Europe, Europe has been the most impacted area in terms of losing vehicle manufacturers in 2019. And everybody is now expecting, and we have already in 2023, a very important recovery in terms of volumes. Gestamp, we have many opportunities to grow with this recovery in Europe because it's our natural market, and we have, of course, quite important industrial capabilities. Of course, there is an opportunity in everything which is related to replacing the ICE vehicles to EVs, and of course, also the focus in the premium cars and electric vehicles. But in the case of North America, we have also a very important opportunity, because now US is clearly moving very fast with regulation like the IRA to EVs, and Gestamp is an expert supplier for EVs, more than other suppliers in US. We have been, in fact, awarded important nominations for best-selling pickups and SUVs, which are now moving to electrification. And in Mexico, we have also many opportunities as a very interesting place to do nearshoring to US. If we go to China, clearly the market in China is booming, especially the one in EVs. Just in 2022, more than 60% of all the EV manufactured in the world has been done in China. And it's not just traditional OEMs moving to electrical vehicles, but the important growth of pure EV players that are growing and gaining market share very, very quickly in China. So this market, which is booming, especially in EVs, is an opportunity for Gestamp. We intend to grow more in China already. Our Chinese sales represent around 12% of our sales, and we want to grow, even though from the moment of the IPO, we had been able to grow our sales in China by 80%. Gestamp, we have a quite attractive set of proprietary solutions for products and technologies that are very, very suitable for EV, so that it means that we are attractive for Chinese OEMs. And of course, we already have a quite important position regarding the pure EV players, not just with one American, but also with many Chinese new companies like NIO or Li Auto or the big development of BYD. And in India, we see also a relevant opportunity for Gestamp in the next 5 years. Of course, the market should grow. It's the most populated country in the world, but it's one of the countries with lowest rate of motorization, and we are expecting this motorization rate to double in the next 5 years, and that should be a very important opportunity to increase manufacturing in India. And of course, there are also important changes in the legislation in India in order to be able to improve the safety requirements in order to reduce all fatalities and also to reduce CO2. So for us, big opportunity. We are already present in India since 20 years. Now the new vehicles are demanding more and more our range of technologies. For instance, in the beginning, it was difficult for us to launch hot stamping, but nowadays we are launching our 4th hot stamping line, and all of them are absolutely full. And we are working, of course, for global players, but more and more with domestic players, very efficient companies like Tata or Mahindra. So if recovery of the auto market in some geographies is an opportunity for us to grow, there is also an opportunity for us to take advantage of the increase of the outsourcing rate by our customers to our range of products. From 22 to 27, the outsourcing rate for our products will grow from 56% to 64%. The main reasons behind this increase of the rate of the outsourcing is linked to the increase of the investment effort that our customers need to do in order to move very quickly to the EVs. But also in the case of the pure EV players, they have no internal capabilities and they have no willing to invest in iron. They prefer to invest in batteries and connectivity, so it's an opportunity for us. So together with the recovery of the market and the increase of the outsourcing, we should have an addressable market for Gestamp that is going to move from 76 billion euros this year to 109 billion by 2027. And this increase of the addressable market is going to happen even much more in the case of the electrical vehicles. It's a huge opportunity for Gestamp because all the EV architectures are more suitable for our range of products and technologies, with lightweighting and safety being key factors. Because in these EVs, there is much more outsourcing, especially in pure EV players, but also because EVs has more content per vehicle, including some new parts like battery boxes that we have seen here, or extreme-sized parts like the door rings that you have seen in our plant of Ludwigsfelde. So altogether, the EV addressable market for Gestamp will multiply by 4 times from 12.8 billion in 2022 to 52 billion by 2027. So the EV opportunity is huge, and Gestamp is very well prepared in order to tackle this opportunity. That's why we have set a very aggressive target for us regarding EV sales, as we expect to grow 5 times our EV-related sales in 5 years, and by 2027, our EV-related sales should be more than 50% of our total revenues. So it's a first-time commitment, and I think it's a clear proof that we have a good growth ambition and that we are perfect positioning for the growth on the electrical vehicles. The second pillar of our strategy for the next 5 years is, of course, to preserve and to enlarge the partnership we have with all our customers, and not only with our traditional OEMs, but also with the new players, especially around the EVs. One of Gestamp's key values is that we have been able to build a very solid partnership with our traditional OEMs for years. And in fact, for instance, we are working for them in more than 1,200 models all across the world. And of course, we are doing that with European OEMs, but also with American and Asian ones, and always being very close to them, supporting with our technologies and, and also with their geographical needs, and building this kind of trust relationship because we have always fulfilled all our commitments. But if we talk about the pure EV commerce, I think clearly Gestamp is increasingly gaining market share with these pure EV players, and we are starting to build with them quite solid partnerships for the long run. Pure EV players like Tesla or Rivian or Lucid in US, or many Chinese firms like BYD or NIO, Li Auto or Great Wall that are expected to double their market share in global manufacturing in the next 5 years. So to these new players, we are usually a very attractive supplier because to grow fast, they need our existing technologies and our existing capabilities everywhere in the world. But also, there is a possibility that they can work with us in co-development projects. They are still young, and they need to work with expert suppliers like we are in our field of products. Third pillar is our capability to develop technologies and innovations to support our customers' needs. These relevant capabilities that we have been able to build throughout the years, I think they are the best way why Gestamp has been able to differentiate from other competitors. Afterwards, Ignacio will explain in more detail what we are doing. But in any case, I think I can clearly state that innovation is a competitive advantage for Gestamp because we have full engineering capabilities. It's not just that we have capabilities to do product development. We invest in different kinds of process and technologies, and also we do process definition, and even sometimes we do in-house the manufacturing of tools or presses. Our technology and innovation department is a really global one. We have 1,500 people working in 13 research and development centers all over the world, trying to find in every geography the best solutions for the client's needs. And one key advantage that we offer to our customers, thanks to the recognition by them of our proprietary solutions, is the co-development in new projects and new vehicles. And we are growing a lot in co-development. For instance, just in 2010, we were only working with OEMs in 10 co-development projects. Last year, we have done it in more than 450 co-development projects. So working together with our customers over time, I think they help us to anticipate all the needs while transitioning to the electric vehicles and create some specific EV solutions for them. New solutions that, again, increase the safety, reduce the weight, and reduce the CO2 emissions. And always trying to find the right balance between cost and also performance for these new EV architectures. And of course, always developing new ideas and new proprietary solutions for EVs. Operational excellence. I think operational excellence has been and will be always one of the most important pillars of Gestamp's strategy, because without operational excellence, there is not any single future in a very competitive world like the auto market. Through operational excellence, we always want to offer our customers the best price, the best quality, and a very good service rate. We are able also to launch new greenfield facilities in time and quality and build trusted relationships with our customers. We are also able to increase the efficiency and flexibility for all our operations everywhere, and also we are able to promote the best practices and also promote the standardization of the process. But it's not enough. Now things are getting complex, and we need to raise the bar. As you see more complexity in the market, whenever we are moving and transitioning to the EVs with shorter lead times, and even with more volatility in the market, especially in the volumes. So in order to move forward, to raise this bar, we have built a new department led by Patricia Riberas as Chief Operational Excellence Officer. And the idea here is that we need to boost all of our efforts in this field. Afterwards, Patricia will talk a little bit more of how we are transforming our operations in order to be able to increase this efficiency and this flexibility. Profitable growth is another key pillar of our strategy. Excuse me. As far as we have plenty of opportunities all over the world to grow, I think it's absolutely key to keep improving our profitability and to obtain the best return out of every investment we do. During the last difficult years, from 2019 to 2022, in Gestamp we have made a huge effort to improve our profitability level. So even if declining volumes are more volatility of the manufacturing of our customers and these high inflationary pressures, we have been able to increase our EBITDA margin, as mentioned before, from 11.8% to 12.7%, but we have been also able to increase the return of our capital employed from 12.2% to 14%. The focus in profitability has helped us to resize our fixed cost structure, to stabilize most of our industrial operations, and also to restructure, in some extent, some capacity. But for the future, profitable growth is a key priority for Gestamp, and that's why we have selected the return on capital employed as a core business KPI. And we have set a quite ambitious target to increase this return by 350 basic points, reaching a 17.5% ratio in 2027. We are going to reach this target using main levers like continuous operational improvements and improving of the project execution, but mainly with a very selective CapEx strategy and, of course, with a clear focus in the turnaround of our operations in North America. About North America, I think already for some years, our operations in North America have not generated the expected return. But for the next 5 years, we believe that we have a relevant opportunity to improve the overall profitability of the group by increasing the efficiency of these North American plants. In fact, the current low profitability level that we had in North America has not happened during many years. And it's true that since the incorporation of our first plant in Mexico, in Aguascalientes, back in 2001, until 2015, the growth rate and the profitability level of our North American plants was even better than the average of the Gestamp plants at that time. But it's true, in fact, that all the problems really started when we decided in 2015 to look for a very aggressive growth mode in order to increase our market share, especially in US. At that time, the American team, which has led the growth during previous years, collapsed, and we faced some problems, big problems, during launches of new vehicles and new greenfields. Even if in 2018 and 2019 we were able to improve the efficiency of all these operations with new US talent supported by group experts from all over the world, since COVID, we had a lot of problems. We had high inflation. We have a very tight labor market and difficulties to move non-US talent to US. So the profitability in the last 2 years has not improved yet. But we want to be in North America. And we are looking to have in North America a quite profitable and relevant position. We have built a plan to consolidate and to improve the efficiency of our North American plants, based, of course, in supporting the local leadership with a clear talent strategy, moving talent locally, but also from the rest of the group, and looking for labor stability. Also, we are moving in the idea to increase our cooperation with the American OEMs, using our advantage in EV projects linked to our proprietary solutions and also our industrial expertise, better than many of the local suppliers in the US. And, of course, focus in project executions and efficiency improvement supported by operational excellence corporate area. So with this plan, we are committed to increase our EBITDA margin from 8.4% in 2022 to a double digit in or before 2026. So clear focus for all our organization in the next 5 years. But as already mentioned, a disciplined CapEx approach is also very important in order to be able to improve the return on capital employed. We will select CapEx opportunities that are strategic for Gestamp, and especially around electrical vehicles. We will also secure the existing future business for our existing plants. And we will have, of course, a defined and a controlled IRR target, and with a clear focus on ROCE improvement. And in order to increase the pressure on this disciplined CapEx approach, we have also created the Strategic Projects Office, a team made out of resources from all the corporate departments and also some of the industrial divisions involved, in order to be able to control all the quotations of the most relevant projects all over the world, and also to ensure competitiveness, quality, time, and return. So a very key tool in order to be able to avoid any mistake in the future. Another pillar of our strategy in this next 5 years is to have and to preserve a disciplined balance sheet profile. And as it's the only way we can really assure a sustainable growth in the long run. Later today, Nacho will explain our financial strategy in much more detail, but basically, our business approach means that we will grow, investing in nominated projects which are attractive for our long-term strategy. All these CapEx projects will help us to have a good return on the capital that we are using, and we should be able to generate a sound level of free cash flow throughout the years. So in terms of leverage, what we have decided is to reduce it in order to be in a much more conservative position for the future. In this sense, in 2022, we have been able to reduce our leverage to less than 2 times first time after the IPO. And now we want to further reduce our leverage from 1.8 times in 2022 to be in the range of 1 to 1.5 times EBITDA during the next 5 years. And finally, our 7th pillar is that we want to be a pioneer in circular economy in our industrial segment through the recent integration of Gescrap in our group Gestamp. The acquisition of a relevant stake in Gescrap at the end of last year has been a very good opportunity for us, because it allows us to be the first mover in our sector in order to build a solid strategy to offer our customers components made out of low-carbon steel. And because being high-quality scrap a key element in the manufacturing of CO2 steels, I think the integration of scrap with industrial presence in 18 countries and managing more than 2 million tons of high-quality scrap a year is offering to Gestamp a very good position to take advantage of all this decarbonization process of the steel. Gescrap is a leading supplier of high-quality scrap. It's very well positioned in order to get good access to high-quality scrap. We have in Gescrap very important industrial capabilities to be able to manage all these high volumes. We are one of the largest players in this sector, which is a sector quite fragmented. And we have a strong position also around the auto industry. So there is already 30 years of history of Gescrap, always profitable. And I think clearly for the future, the demand of high-quality scrap is going to be booming, while it's going to be a limited offer of capacity of scrap. So we are absolutely convinced that Gescrap is going to be a good asset for Gestamp in our strategy, and also a quite profitable one. And as mentioned, Gescrap provides also a good opportunity for Gestamp to enter and to offer to our customers components made out of secondary steel grades. In this sense, Gestamp has already signed relevant agreements with very relevant steel mills in order to use our scrap through Gescrap as a raw material to produce the steel that later on we transform into some of our components. So a perfect example of circular economy. So by doing that, by integrating Gescrap, I think Gestamp is moving forward to help our customers to cope with the future challenge of the net zero car. Okay, so after visiting all these pillars of our plan for 2027, I am convinced that we have a clear path in order to continue building on Gestamp foundations, but introducing some new commitments. And that should allow us to generate a good and a clear value to all our stakeholders, our clients, our people, and also our shareholders or investors. Value to our clients, because we are reinforcing our long-term partnership. We are preserving all what has helped us in order to build these partnerships throughout the years, finding solutions for them, and then clearly these new solutions very much oriented for this new industrial revolution around EVs. And of course, we are going to do that, supporting them in different topics like developing new proprietary solutions or innovations, and helping them in their way for this net zero car. Also, more value to our people as main foundations of what we do in Gestamp. In Gestamp, we have an extraordinary team of highly qualified and motivated professionals, which are absolutely the key to the Gestamp success, because that's the only base in order to be able to reach the operational excellence levels that we have in order to keep and to preserve our long-term partnership with our customers. For our employees in Gestamp, we offer, I think, a quite good value proposition. A proposition to work in a group which is a long-term project. To be part also of a company with solid values and principles. To contribute to the change to a more sustainable mobility, and also many opportunities to develop and to grow, because we are always continuously growing, and we always need the best talent in the most difficult areas. And also, and in parallel to the value we create for clients and our team, we are also very much committed to generate value to all our shareholders. Preserving a clear strategy to keep on leading our sector, focusing in a disciplined growth, with a clear remuneration policy of 30% payout over net profit, and of course, being the trusted company, always meeting our commitments. And to support our value creation to shareholders, I think we can clearly see that we have a very solid and experienced management team. And we had also a board of directors with a majority of independent members, all of them highly experienced members. So together, our professional management team and this independent and experienced board of directors, I think is the best guarantee to the proper execution of our plan, and of course, to preserve our strategy in the long run. And well, that's all from my side. Just to sum up, Gestamp, following our 25 years of history, we are now the global leader in our business. Following the last difficult 3 years, Gestamp has emerged stronger, with solid strategic positioning and with a good profitability and sound financial profile. And for the following 5 years, when the transition to the more sustainable mobility is going to happen, and it's going to be the priority for all us, Gestamp has a solid plan with strong pillars to help us take full advantage of opportunities around the EV world. And we have also a plan which is going to be able to allow us to create value to our clients, to our people, and also to our investors. And we are convinced that in this environment, we are going to be a clear winner in this new era of mobility. So thank you. And now I'm giving the floor to Ignacio Martín, our Chief Technology and Innovation Officer.